You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're not the problem. What you survived was real, and it has a name. Welcome to Fuck You Narcissist, the podcast where we speak the truth that nobody told you, backed by science, rooted in story, and driven by one mission: to heal the people this epidemic has quietly been destroying. I'm your host, Tracey Lynch, author, founder, and a woman who lived it, survived it, and refuses to be silent about it. I work to save the lives of women being quietly erased. Every week we go deep, we go raw, we go scientific, because around here we operate on one principle. The whole point is to take the energy you've pointed their way and use it to heal yourself. And to do that, we need to deal with facts, not feelings. Let's get into it. I want you to close your eyes for a second. I want you to think of the person who hurt you the most, the one who made you feel that you were the crazy one, the one that told you your feelings were too big, the one who, no matter what you gave, took more. Got them? Good. Don't let go of that image, because today we are going to name what they did to you, and naming it changes everything. The word nobody wants to say: narcissist. 5 syllables that used to be a punchline, a descriptor thrown around at dinner tables and in group texts about difficult coworkers and demanding exes. We treat it like an insult, a personality quirk, something to roll your eyes at. But here's what the science actually says. And I will always, always lead with science on this podcast, because around here, we operate on facts, not feelings. Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, is a diagnosable, clinically recognized mental health condition listed in the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, the Bible of psychiatric diagnosis. And according to that document, NPD is characterized by a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, an insatiable need for admiration, and a profound, deep, sometimes terrifying, lack of empathy. The DSM-5 lists 9 diagnostic criteria. A clinician needs to observe at least 5 to make this a formal diagnosis. I'm going to read all 9 slowly because I need you to feel this. 1, a grandiose sense of self-importance. They believe they are special, exceptional, above ordinary rules that govern regular people. 2, preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. 3, belief that they are so special and unique that they can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high-status people or institutions. 4, requires excessive admiration, not occasional, excessive, constant. It is a hunger that cannot be filled. 5, has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of automatic compliance with their expectations. 6, is interpersonally exploitative. They use other people deliberately, without guilt. 7, lacks empathy, cannot or will not recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. 8, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of them. And 9, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. 5 out of 9. That's all it takes. 5 out of 9, and you are looking at a clinical narcissist. Now sit with that. Because if you are listening to this podcast, you've probably been trying to name what you experienced for years, decades maybe. And you've been told that you were being dramatic, oversensitive, that you just needed to communicate better, that all families have conflict, that you needed to pray more, love harder, give more grace. You were not dramatic. You were accurate. Now let's talk about the scale, because one of the most isolating things about narcissistic abuse is the feeling that you are alone in it. Because one of the most isolating things about narcissistic abuse is the feeling that you are alone in it, that your story is somehow too shameful to be real, too bizarre to be believed. So let me give you the facts. According to the National Institute of Health, NPD affects approximately 6.2% of the general population. That sounds small until you do the math. The United States alone has 335 million people. 6% of that's over 20 million diagnosed narcissists walking around in America right now, today. And here's the terrifying part. Those are the diagnosed ones. NPD is notoriously underdiagnosed because narcissists rarely seek therapy. They don't believe anything is wrong with them. You are the problem, remember? You are the one that needs to fix yourself. They are fine. Clinical psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula, one of the foremost experts on narcissistic abuse, estimates that over 158 million Americans have some kind of significant, disruptive relationship with a narcissist. Mother, father, spouse, child, boss, friend. 158 million people. That is not a personality quirk. That is an epidemic. I am Tracey Lynch. I wrote the book, Fuck You Narcissist, and I am an author, a founder, a woman of faith, and I'm someone who spent years being confused, drained, gaslit, and financially exploited by the person I loved most, my adult daughter. I'm not going to give you the whole story today. That's what the next 27 episodes are for. But I need to establish something right here, right now in episode 1. I am not bitter. I am not broken. And I am not here to trash one person. I am here because I lost my baby sister June this past January in 2026. June was 53 years old. She was gorgeous. She was funny. She was social. She was the kind of woman who remembered every birthday, who showed up at every moment that mattered. Her dream all her life was to be a wife and a mother, to have grandchildren climbing on her, to cook big Sunday dinners and be surrounded by the people she had poured herself into. Instead, she spent the last decade of her life being slowly abandoned by 3 adult children who had learned somewhere along the way that love was conditional and parents were disposable. She died of a broken heart, medically, literally, a condition called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. And we will do a full episode on this, which is a heart failure triggered by acute emotional stress and grief. Her heart gave out because her children had already left her long before her body did. She was 53 years old. And I decided that day, the day I lost her, that I would never be silent again, that I would take everything that I had survived, everything that she had survived, and I would turn it into a fire that would light the way for every parent, every spouse, every sibling, every human being who has been sitting in a corner somewhere wondering why they were never enough. You were always enough. They were the problem. Here's your history lesson for today, because this podcast will always find roots in history. The word narcissism comes from the ancient Greek myth of Narcissus, a young man of extraordinary beauty who was loved by everyone around him and who rejected every one of them one by one, cruelly, until one day he came to a pool of water, looked down at his reflection, and fell in love with it. And he could not look away. He was so captivated by his own image that he died there at the edge of that pool, staring at himself. The myth is a psychological blueprint that is over 2,000 years old. The ancient Greeks knew. They saw it. They named it. A person so consumed by self-love that everyone around them withers. Everyone around them serves as nothing more than a mirror, a reflection, a source of supply. Supply. Remember that word, because we're going to use it a lot. Narcissists don't actually love you. They love what you give them. The validation, the adoration, the energy, the money, the obedience. You are not a person to them. You are a resource. And when the resource dries up, they move on, or they punish you for drying up. Sometimes both. Over the next 27 episodes, we are going to do something that most shows about narcissism don't do. We are going to go all the way in. We are going to talk about the science of what happens to your brain when you live with a narcissist long term. We are going to talk about trauma bonding, the actual neurological reason you cannot just leave or just forgive or just get over it no matter how many people tell you to. We are going to talk about the spiritual abuse, financial exploitation, grandparent alienation, parental estrangement, and we're going to talk about death, the literal death that narcissistic abuse can cause, not metaphorically, medically. And we're going to do all of it with one compass, facts, not feelings. Your feelings matter. I honor your feelings, but feelings alone can be manipulated. Facts cannot. And I am going to give you the facts, science, research, history, data, so that the next time someone tries to make you question your own experience, you have an answer, not an emotional response, an answer. Before I let you go, I need you to do one thing. Go to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a review. Not for me, for the person who will find this show 6 months from now at 2 a.m. when they are sitting in their car in a parking lot wondering if they are crazy. Your words will find them, I promise. And share this episode. Post it, text it, email it to the person you've been trying to explain this to for years. Let the podcast do the explaining for you. I'm Tracey Lynch. This is Fuck You Narcissist. Next week, we talk about love bombing, the most beautiful trap ever set. If no one has told you today, you matter. You are not what they said you were. Your grief is not weakness. It is evidence of your love. You survived a hurricane with a smile on its face, and you are still here. If this episode hit you in the chest, share it. Someone in your world is drowning, and they don't even know it yet. They need this. Give it to them. Subscribe, leave a review, and come find me at TraceyLynch.com, because healing is not a solo sport. I'm Tracey Lynch, and this has been Fuck You Narcissist. Facts, not feelings. Until next time.